and welcome to our special coverage on the protest. Today we'll be looking at the president's speech. But before that, my name is Medina Azaki, and I'm being joined in the house by two special ladies, the ones that we had a discussion before now. I have Kate reach out. She's the founder, Community Care and Hope Foundation. Madam Kate, many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
All right. I also have Mrs. Anna Olubumi, yes, Osinsowo. She's an accident and emergency nurse with Jos University Teaching Hospital. And Mrs. Anna, it's good to have you here again.
Thank you very much.
All right. Ladies, the protest started, as we did emphasize. It started on Thursday last week, and up till today, even though the president had made a speech yesterday, there are still some pockets of protest here and there. But before we go to this, to this update on the protest, let me ask you: is the protest successful so far, so good? Let me start with you.
Is the protest successful? Is a no and a yes, because a yes in the sense that people got to air their views, people had their rights was allowed for them to say what they feel and to bring out their grievances to the presidency and to say what is not working in the country in their own perception. And a no to me was there should be a different way of engaging the government, engaging our leaders, rather than taking to the street. And
so for you, is the two sides of the coin?
Yes,
it is successful on one part and it is not successful on the other. It is
successful to them because they got the opportunity, as they claim, to say what they think. And it was not successful because a lot of people were killed, people's property were destroyed. We saw the negative aspect of it, that we were all scared. That was why some of us were against the protest in the first place, because we know any protest in this history of Nigeria.
And their demands were not met. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Their demand was they knew, but then they never go to the right way that could have been tackled in a civilized manner was not followed.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Lubumi, you said it a number of times that protests are legitimate right of citizens.
Yes.
And people must protest as far as it is peaceful.
Yes.
So to you, has the protest achieved the desired result?
The protest has not really achieved the desired result, but to me the protest is yes. It has gone to certain extent because you find out that there was nothing working again. Every topic on the television is about protest. No business, all shops were closed, everything was shut on hold. Everything we are discussing about now is protest. If you go to the street, everybody is even afraid of going to open his shop. They are afraid of people protesting so that they will not vandalize their shops. Meanwhile, actually the protest was not meant for vandalization. But along the line, the hoodlums took over and were vandalizing. So every topic you see, if you want to travel, you find that people, you find that people asking, is the road safe? Is the road not safe? Because everything is on hold.
But it was expected that this protest will be hijacked some way, somehow.
Yeah, we actually said it.
We said it in one of our programs that this protest will be hijacked.
Yeah.
So what happened? You did say that the security agents were supposed to be on ground and, to protect lives and property. So they didn't do their job. That's what you're saying.
The security were doing their job, but along the line, the hoodlums protested. Yes, they outnumbered the security. It's not as if they outnumbered. They wait when the security was quiet. That is when they went to go and start doing that. Like yesterday, the ones that happened in Jos, it was after the church in the evening. They went to areas that they know that it's a no-go area for police and soldier. That is where they went to go. Is there any no-go area for security? There are areas that military doesn't enter, police doesn't enter.
I don't
like the Bauchi Road. I went like the Bauchi Road. Like the Bauchi Road.
There is a sector in Bauchi Road.
Staff know that to enter Bauchi Road is difficult.
Why?
In Jos, because they are always afraid. If you go there, it is always violence. If you go there, it is always violent. The military, the soldier,
why is it so?
They used to take law into their hands. They are taking law into their hands. That's the problem.
Okay. Let me ask you, another Jos resident.
Okay.
Why is it a no-go area?
So there's a way we all perceive things differently. In my perception and what I think, or which I believe is the reality on ground, there is no way a security man, you tell him the security cannot go there. It means there is no law and order in the country. So that Bauchi Road she's talking about, there is a sector there, and that sector is that sector owns more than 50 personnel.
Sector is that?
Bauchi Road is sector 2. That is in those ones in Stadium, they cover Bauchi Road.
That's
in
the
fact,
security agent.
the security architecture in Jos, that's they operate the special task force in Jos, Operation Safe Haven. They cover all these places. In fact, you enter into an area on the market, as in Bauchi Park. The Bauchi Park has a checkpoint there. There are security personnel there, officers and soldiers.
So if we are going to rate the security agent performance as far as this protest is concerned,
I can give
what rate are we going to be giving them on a percentage level, 1 to 100?
Okay, on level 1 to 100, I give them 98%.
98%.
98%, because to some extent they were
with the level of destruction that we
no, the
saw
destruction as is
Kano,
it the destruction.
Maiduguri,
Okay,
Yobe, and even in Jos.
take 98%. Take the security out of this. It could have been deadlier than what you saw. Take them out of it. This is what we said. The security architecture we have on ground they said in is it the World Health Standard, or what, that a personnel is supposed to cover for? Do we have that in this country? I actually don't know the figure, but I don't think we are up to that standard. That was what we said. We said we don't have enough manpower for all these protests. We saw what happened during the NSAS. It was not as if they were overpowered. So if they are overwhelmed, how do you want them to police those people? When they start to do the real thing that may disperse them, there may be more killings. And when there are killings that is on the security side, the whole thing will turn gaga. And so at the end of the day, I think if we can be go back to the table and dialogue with the government, as we earlier said, it will do us more good than what we are seeing now.
Mrs. Anna, rating of the security agents,
let me
1 to 100.
What
percentage will you give? No, before you give the scenario, what will be your percentage?
My percentage is going to be 70 over 100.
Okay.
That's
why I said it's 70 over 100 is they tried to some extent, but along the line they did not try it, because you find out that the security were stoning, the hopeless were stolen, and then the police is there to protect life and property. You are there to protect life. You are not supposed to even release a gun or a tear gas for anybody.
Even when his life is at risk?
No, his life cannot be at risk, because you are there to protect life and property. I know during their own training.
He's also alive.
I know during their own training, they have trained on how to go about with everybody. But you cannot take low. By shooting, it means you are killing, and you are already forcing.
You said you are going to give us a scenario. So what happened?
The scenario is this: whenever there is you find out that in crisis situation, being a nurse in crisis situation, we find that most people that comes to the hospital are due to gunshot or hit or any other thing, and mostly is because of the crisis between the police and those protesting. So it's not supposed to be like that. You are there to protect life and property. When the government knows that there is protest, they're supposed to address certain areas that I say, like that Bauchi Road. Even in Yola, we call it Shinko. I'm a bona fide child of Yola. We call it Shinko Road. You don't go to Shinko Road just like that during crisis. Because if you go there,
so
your life is being intentioned.
Lawless people resident in those kind of areas. But let me ask you, I know you are not on your duty post now, so it will be difficult for you to tell me how many people are victims of police brutality during this protest. So it will be difficult for you to say that now. Maybe if you're on your duty post, it will be better. But let's come to the real issue. That is the president's speech. After 3 days of the protest, the president found his voice and made a speech. Now, the speech left many people, some disappointed, Some hailed the speech. Most of the protesters are also disappointed. They view it as a campaign speech because the president kept saying what we did, what we are doing, what we didn't do, and all of that. What is your reaction to the president's speech?
So there was a gap. I think there was a communication gap between the president and the protester. That was why they took to the street. So the speech
closed the gap?
Yeah, the speech to some extent, to an open-minded person, was a speech of hope, was a speech for the protester to see reason why things are going this way. So the speech yesterday made by the president was a speech that you can't come to the federal, go back and hold your president, your governors responsible because I have done this, I have done that. It was an area of communication. It was a time for him to communicate and tell the public, if you are saying this is what I've done with the fuel subsidy. Okay, if I've been able within 1 year to send over 500 billion to your two states, at least 500 billion in a state should be visible to everybody.
They denied it this morning.
Oh, really?
Yes, the same federal government said they didn't say so.
Oh, they said they didn't say so?
Yes.
Okay, so, but he said he has shared money to the governors. I heard the speech and also I went through the speech he said, and he said he has...
Let me ask you, if you put what has been given to state, I'm not defending them.
Yeah.
If you put what has been given to the states
governors
as a result of subsidy removal vis-a-vis the exchange rate, you'll find out that what 2 billion was able to do for you before the subsidy removal, a 4 billion might not be able to do that for you now.
Yes.
Are they also not in a dilemma that yes, more money, more problem? That's the situation that we have.
That is the situation. But what was obtained, if we were given in 1981, if money that was shared was 100 naira, so in 2015, 100 naira was nothing. So definitely we should expect, as population is changing, things are also changing. We cannot expect what was 2 billion was doing in 2 years will still do in 2024. And secondly, like the exchange rate we talk more about, I think what he did, that policy at the exchange rate is the best, because it gets to a point where you are a nobody, you cannot access money from the CBN. So it was still the same cabals we are trying to fight today that hijacked that money.
Are you able to access foreign?
Yes, if I want it today. Yes, if I want today, I can access. At least it's accessible to me and at the same price where everybody can get. Not that somebody can go in through the bank to use his connection and get it at 500 while I'm buying it at 1,000. So if Mr. A is getting
it at 1,000,
for instance, I'm just giving an example. Okay. So if it is 1,600 as it is, everybody is buying at 1,600. So is it not a good policy that at least the poor is not being oppressed? You know, you're not, as he said, that he wants the poor to breathe. So to some extent, that policy...
A good policy,
yes,
that has continued to increase the prices of goods and services.
Do we need foreign...
The inflation we have today is because of the floating of the naira.
We actually don't buy
because
food.
Because you're an import-dependent country. You import virtually everything, even the toothpick that you use.
No, we are making toothpick now.
Where?
There is a factory for it in Lagos.
Where? Lagos.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
Have you seen made in Nigeria toothpick in the supermarket?
Yes, in fact, I'm using one in my house today. Okay. Yes. So I
And
think we are coming up. If we can assemble cars, we can even produce cars now that other African countries are buying from us. Then let's make our now.
Where are we producing the cars?
We are producing. Innocent Motor is producing cars.
We how many?
We can produce. Other people are patronizing. In fact, I just don't have money. If not, I will patronize him. I love his cars. I've seen my boss is using his cars.
You are not going to be using. You are not going to use this program to do campaign.
No,
no,
it's not campaign. I'm just saying it the way it is.
No, it is not the way it is. You cannot tell me Innocent Motors are everywhere and they are affordable and Nigerians are buying. Even the lawmakers.
You buy it in naira.
Even the lawmakers who spent a fortune ended up importing cars of 165 billion or 300 million as it's been viewed in some quarters. So they didn't buy innocence more cars. So let's hang it there. But let me come to Ms.
They still use innocence cars at the National Assembly.
No,
some of them say, I can call you 2 of my boss that I know directly are using innocent cars. I've seen military buying innocent cars. Yes, now.
Except we see people who will come and tell us, but what is the percentage of people?
On a serious note, even the Nigerian army today, most of their cars are being made by innocent motors.
I don't think that's true.
I'm telling, this is a fact.
It's not a fact. It's not true. Just let's leave it.
I know a boss I've worked with that is actually using innocent cars.
People buying innocent cars.
But innocent cars are everywhere in Abuja. It's everywhere on the streets. Except you don't want it. Haja, you know you don't go out. You know my kind of, yes.
I don't go out. I don't go from my house to work.
Haja, from your house to work is not something that I go to the market.
It's not.
You are busy here in the studio always. I know your kind of work.
I don't go to the road.
Haja, I will drive you out, and we will count. I will drive you out just for an hour, and we will be able to count more than 20 cars made by innocent motors. Yes, on the street. Yes.
Okay. Let me go to
innocent cars that are more of defensive cars.
Innocent cars.
They are more of defensive cars. So I saw the cars. They are just meant for military to defend.
Okay.
Bulletproof cars. That are the motors.
So they are meant for civilians.
Not meant for people like us.
No, now they
the ones I saw.
Yes.
The one I saw.
There are
innocent motors.
Is meant for defense military. Now it's over 50 million.
You go to no, hold it. You are not going to come here and advertise innocent cars because you are not paying for that.
No, we are speaking about Nigerians and what we have been doing. We are producing.
We are not producing anything. Let me allow her to land. The president's speech.
Yes.
Does it resonate with the protesters? Does it connect with people generally, with Nigerians generally?
As far as I am concerned as an individual, it has nothing to do with us because he said a lot of things that is contrary to what we are looking for. Me too, I'm part of the protesters because I'm a Nigerian.
You if it connects with
it does not connect. Tinubu is just saying, I've heard you. He has done this. He has done this, but he did not even say what he's going to do. He did not say what he's going to do. Our problem is the removal of this subsidy. That's where our problem is.
But he also said that subsidy is gone forever.
Well, I saw it. He said subsidy is gone forever, and meaning we should continue in our suffering. That's what he's saying.
Let's not learn to live with it. That's what he's saying.
Well, that's what he's saying. Meaning, if we want to protest, he will give us rice. If we say there is no fuel, he will give us rice. If we say there is no water, he will give us rice. If we say there is a tariff, light tariff,
everything has to be tied to rice.
Yes, that is what he's saying.
So what
I'm even looking for where they are selling this rice in Abuja, so that I will buy my own before I go back to Jos. Because just people are asking me, please remember to bring the rice. So that's our problem. From 80,000 to 40,000, we have not seen it. Nobody has seen it. Believe me sincerely, it is what triggered that protest of that hoodlums of that yesterday in Jos. Had it been our Tinubu said something that is reasonable, I'm sure that what happened in Jos yesterday wouldn't have happened at all.
So now we are at a crossroad. We have protesters who are demanding for A, B, C, D. Because what the president said is they are not immediate solutions. They are not even mid-term solutions. They are long-term solutions. And most of them are just campaign promises that are being reeled out. We are going, we are doing, we have done this, we did that. Some of those things that he even mentioned, some people cannot even access them. Like the consumer, what do you call it? Is it consumer protection or consumer alleviation? Some of the things that consumers can have access, consumer credit, that consumers can have access to. I don't know how many people have had access to it. The student loan, we are yet to see the number of people who have been able to access the loan. Even the, what do you call it, the housing and every other thing. So the crossroad that we are in is a president who made a speech that doesn't connect with the protesters, and the protesters who are saying, no, you have not said anything, and the protest will continue.
There's nothing dialogue cannot solve. Since he said he's open for dialogue, it means anything can change. He just spelled out what he was able to do within 1 year. We've not given this guy 2-3 years. He has not spent 50% of the mandate being given to him. We elected
so
him
you want
to
him
spend.
to spend 50% first?
No, at least he's not even up to 2 years in office. Give him 2 to 3 years. If he's not performing, then come on the street and say, this was your campaign promises to us. We've done this, you've said you do this, and it's not in place. This fuel subsidy we are talking about, this man came out during campaign before we voted him. I voted him because he actually said he's going to take down fuel subsidy, which I was okay with that. That was why I went and voted him. So why are we making it a problem now? The only issue we are talking about is that, okay, some of the policy, as you said, I'm a human being and I still live in a society where I've seen everything that is going. People are actually hungry in this country. I can't take away that fact. But then let's give him time. Since he has said he has put 1 or 2 things in place.
You cannot a number of times.
You cannot have a pregnancy today and then deliver tomorrow. This pregnancy goes on for 9 months. And that 9 months you've not done 4.5 months, and then you've started complaining that the baby is not coming out.
Does a hungry man needs 9 months?
How are you hungry? How hungry are we? If you are hungry and then you are coming on the street fighting people, throwing stones at the security personnel, what strength did you have before coming on the street? We have seen where people were given 5,000 to come on the street.
Saying that a hungry man is an angry man.
How many hungry people are here in this country? When you walk, no food for lazy man. Even in Freetown, they say there's no free food.
You are not hungry.
How hungry am I? I'm working for what to eat. So if you sit down thinking there is a free money or there is free food somewhere, the government should feed your bill. When your wife is pregnant, they should come and take charge of it. When your wife is pregnant, you know your wife was pregnant. Can't you go and work? Can't you get something doing?
Saying that the protesters on the street are lazy youth.
I'm not calling them lazy youth. This thing is affecting everybody. Do I have job for myself? Yes, because I have 1 or 2 things I can do with my hand that puts food on my table. So we can still look around. Let's check around and see what can we do. The same, there is Bank of Industry. Come up with a good business plan. They sponsor it. They support you with funds that you can sponsor. You can start your businesses.
I know you are an entrepreneur. Have you done
yes, I've no reason to try it yet.
So why?
But there are people that have accessed that money. There was a money. Okay, let me tell you. I have accessed Nisal money and I've paid. A lot of people have collected this money and are not paying. Some people collected 7, 8, 10 million and went into buying cars, went into living large with it, not investing. That's a Nigerian man for you. So what we are saying, if you have a genuine business plan, if you have a genuine thing that you can do, there are measures that government have put in place that you can actually apply, and these funds will be ready, will be available for you. If you know these things are things that you can actually work within it, pay back the money within. In fact, they don't even start removing this money. I remember when I got the initial loan of 500,000, I went into fishery with it. I put it just beside my room. And it yielded something that I was able to pay back that loan with it.
So you became a fish seller at one point?
Yes, at one point. There's nothing I've not tried. You keep trying until you get connected to the one that you can just sit at home and every computer will be working, dropping down money on you in your account. Okay. So you cannot just come on the street without a plan. Ask some of these people on the street, what are your plans for the next 6 months? They don't have anything. They will just tell you, we are hungry. You're hungry. How do we help you? We give you food today. That's why the rice is being given. Since you said you are hungry and you cannot come with a plan, keep collecting rice. You need water, collect rice. That's the hunger you are coming out for. But then if you have a good plans, come with it. Well, there are other agencies. There are a lot of agencies that are there that you can actually work your plans and things will move.
Okay. Do you agree?
I do not agree with what she's saying. I'm not agreeing with what she's saying.
Okay.
Yes. Why I said I'm not agreeing with what she's saying is she can be able to access loan. Maybe because many people there cannot be able to access even the loan she's talking about. Some people want the loan to go for farming, they cannot see it. Some people want to access loan to go for poultry, they will not even see it because they will ask you, bring this person, bring this collateral, bring this one. And you find out that people are afraid of even going to stand as a collateral for somebody to collect loan. That is why we find out that most of our youth are there on the street, not having anything to do. If you see others at times, I used to pity them. Believe me sincerely. Some are even yes. There is no how they can access. Some of them, if you give them in the process of going to do the business, they will eat it. In our church, there was a loan that was given to people. Along the line, most of the people there ate the money because they didn't even know how to go about it. a woman that is selling akara, you give her 100,000 before she will start paying 5,000 naira or 2,000 naira before you know she has finished the money, because maybe the husband is not doing anything. You find out that our society is full of people that husband is doing something, wife is not doing. Yes, most of our women are not doing anything.
She's saying that protesters who are saying they are hungry, they're just maybe blowing it out of proportion. That how hungry can they be to start pressurizing the government? That's what she's saying.
Well, you know what caused all this problem? That's
why when they say they are hungry, they give them rice.
No, because she actually complained about the rice that always been given by the government.
Hungry,
when I accessed that loan, I don't know anybody. Up to today, I don't even know where their office. Everything was online.
That is you.
Yes.
The poor man in the village.
No, the thing there is that the money that was given, that NISA money. I know people that got 1 billion, 2 billion, 10 million. I never get a million naira. No. With my little 200 and 400,000 that I was given, I was able to make something out of it. So what I'm saying, let's keep trying. Let's keep trying. We cannot lose hope. This is a new, he said, this is a renewed hope. What happened 2 years ago, that's not what is happening now. The PAMSEC or the minister that was there 2 years ago is not the same minister that is there. So why won't you just try it? Let's see what will happen. That's what the president is saying. He outlined a lot of things that he has been, a lot of interventions that are there that we can, most especially this student loan. This student loan is a plus. If you cannot pay your school fees, because I know a lot of people that said they are dropped out of school because they actually cannot pay their school fees. Okay, there is money there already. You can actually access this money to pay your school fees with it. And nobody is telling you until when you are finished and you get a job, you will start paying.
For how long will a student, you know, most of the students are afraid to collect these loans because some of them feel maybe along the line they will ask them to start paying, and then yet there is no money to pay.
I have four money to pay at the university
just
today,
go and ask somebody.
And I asked them not to collect because at some point I felt if I ask them to collect now, because I have a genuine mind, if I collect this money to train them, they were already my responsibility. So if I ask them to collect this money, it means to some extent I'm tying their future to that loan. What if they graduate tomorrow, the little thing they are getting, that there are other responsibility, they will start paying. So I feel I should struggle to pay that school fees because that has been my responsibility. But a lot of people will go into it because they think they will not pay. That patriotism for us to do what others are doing that is working for them is not even there. So when we are blaming the government, let's learn to also blame ourselves.
I am one parent. They asked my children, my daughters, to come and collect student loan. They gave them 50,000 naira. Along the line, I was the one that paid the money. So me, I don't advise my children to go and collect these loans because a time will come that they will start asking for the money and they will not have capital. It will still bounce back on the mother,
what
like me. So you see,
hold it. But these are interventions by
government. If you don't have,
these are intervention by government. So if you get a loan, your responsibility is to pay back the loan.
Nigerians don't like paying loans.
No. But you must pay loan. If you collect loan, you must pay loan.
Yes.
So you have a choice, either to take the loan or not to take the loan. So we cannot rule the loan to say it's a bad intervention.
No, it's a very good one. That's what I'm saying.
For those who will adhere to that.
To the rules.
And it keeps people, you know, back in school. There are other people who will drop out if this loan is not being given.
That's true.
My daughter collected loan.
Let us go back to the same speech that the president made. Is the president patriotic?
He is.
With the kind of statement that he made in that speech. I have heard you. My doors are open to negotiations. You know, I have done A, B, C, D. And I think that you people should listen to me. You should suspend the protest and come back to the drawing board. Is the president patriotic? When people shout, say, we don't have food. We don't have food.
But
remove subsidy, make lawmaking part-time, do away with the corruption in the system. Is the president patriotic?
Patriotic? I don't understand this question. Definitely is a patriotic Nigerian. Without him being a patriotic Nigerian, he couldn't have been out tomorrow. He couldn't have bring out his speeches and given us it's more of a future assured speech yesterday to some extent, because at some point some people were like, he's not saying anything, he's being insensitive, he's that, he's this.
But let me ask you, hasn't the renewed hope failed already?
I don't think it's a failed program. Okay. It has not failed.
You don't think it's a failed program?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes, because if you see, even here, within here in Abuja, with what I'm seeing, the roads being open and some of the system that were not working, that have been put in place, definitely you know something is working and things are changing. It's not business as usual that if I'm constructing this road, I have to start it from now to 4 years that I will be out. Within 1 year, a lot of things have already been achieved. So what is our fear? That we think these policies that he brought is not going to work. Let's give him some time.
Okay. Has the renewed hope failed?
It has not failed, but it has not worked per se, because we are already 1 year plus, and everybody is protesting on the street. It means there's a problem along the line. That's what we are saying. So our problem is, let him address what is on ground first now. We were talking about, she mentioned that if you know that your wife is pregnant, are you going to wait for 9 months? At least if your wife is pregnant for 1 month, this one is my field, you will know that you will need to nourish that woman. So we need nourishment along the line. We need our president to nourish us. That's what we are saying. We need tariff
to nourish us.
We should nourish us by removing the subsidy. That's the only thing.
No, it's
but at the same time, he should nourish us by reducing the electric tariff. The tariff is much.
Okay.
Yes.
The program is still coming to you live on Politics and Business TV. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the issues will still continue. Stay with us. It's still our special coverage on the ongoing protest, and my two guests are still in the house. Now, let's go back to the speech itself and patriotism. That speech was leaked before the president made the broadcast. A lot of people saw the speech before the broadcast. And the question will be, are those who managing the president also angry and hungry that they have to leak the speech before it was time?
No, actually, you know, when the speech is being prepared, you have to bring the media into it. So definitely you send it out.
You're not supposed to send it out.
No, you send it out at a point. So when people were saying they saw the speech before it, at the point he was giving the speech, definitely all the medias that are connected, that have been...
that are covering the State House.
The State House has it. So it's not as if somebody went, there's a saboteurs around him, or there are holes around him, as people are trying to make it look. The truth is still what I want to tell you is already there, that you can actually access it. So sometimes it's even good that some people were able to access those messages. It's not everybody that has television in his house. Most especially my people in the village. They only listen to the one in the radio or the one at the newspaper. So if it's not being published, how can they get access to this? So it's not actually what Nigerians are trying to make it look like.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So they had to release it for media houses.
Definitely. That's how speech. Definitely.
Yeah.
At the point.
Protocol around president's speech, but it's something that we need to find out to say, can the president speak? I know
that was not a security report.
I know during President Buhari's time, most times we get the speeches before it is being
exactly
broadcasted. But maybe it's something we need to look at. Yeah, so let's go back to the issue of nourishing the protesters. How can the president has said no subsidy, so, subsidy removal is gone, and you are saying that the only way to nourish these protesters is to bring back subsidy.
Yes.
So where will be the meeting point?
The meeting point, it will be from the president itself down to the governors, down to the local government. You know why I'm talking about the subsidies? Because that is the real problem. Because if
no, but let me tell you again, the president in his speech said CNG will be made available for public transport, and that everybody who is into public transport can access the CNG. That is the gas, you know, and that is much more cheaper and affordable. This is a plan that is being rolled out since last year, if I remember, and then they had centers. Unfortunately, it went down at some point, but I think it's they're trying to bring it out and make it more effective. Do you think that will be a solution?
That is not going to be the solution, because the vehicle using gases are not going down to the villages. They are just within the cities. Yeah, it's just relatively telling us to drop our cars because we cannot afford petroleum, to go back to using gas. Then those cars, they are not going to the villages. All the cars going to the villages to go and bring those food that is being produced from the villages are using petrol. That is why the food is always expensive. It is expensive because when you buy petrol at almost 800 to 900 per liter, by the time you go to the village and come back, when you buy yam, let me just give example with yam 5,000 in the village, by the time you come to the city, you are going to sell it for 10,000. So it is going to be very, very expensive. So meaning the people going about on the street cannot afford it. That's what we are saying. So
affordability is one. Increasing of price on a regular basis is also one.
Yes.
As citizens who are protesting now, are they also very patriotic to their country and to their fellow citizens? When you buy yam for 5,000 naira, the example you just made, and then you come to the city and sell it for 7,000 or 8,000, is it justified? Can't you just add 200 naira? Because you're not buying one, piece of yam to sell in the city. You're going to buy like 10 or 20 or even 100. Can't you just add 200 on each?
If you have the capital,
must you make super profit?
If you have the capital, you go and buy plenty and bring it, then it will not be expensive. But if you don't have the capital, you are going to the village market with 100,000. Of course, if you come back, the thing will be very, very expensive. It will be very, very expensive, no matter what you do. I have been a nurse and I've used to go to the village. So I know what it means to go to the village and buy something and bring it to the town. Because by the time I will use fuel, maybe I will use 10,000 naira fuel to go to the village and come back. By the time I come back to the city to come and sell my produce, when people were selling maize 500 naira per mudu in the market, me, I'm selling my own 400 naira because I went to the village and come back, and then I'm selling it 400. You find all the market women coming back to come and buy from me, then to come and go and resell, because they don't want to go to the village market, because they found out that transportation is so much for them to go and come back. So they'll come and buy from me. So you understand. But by the time I now found out that it is affecting my own health and I stopped, they keep saying, "Mommy, why are you not going now to the village market to go and buy?" But I always wish to fear God.
Let me ask you, how do you combine being a nurse and being a village
during my off period, I go to the village. I had a shop where I was doing fast food. I was making kunu and kose. I was selling. My daughter was there. I was trying to empower my own children to do that, to keep them away from going about, So that is how I get to know about the market.
So you are one of those that Kate was talking about, who are always finding something.
She knows me very well. She knows that I won't do that.
So she's indirectly referring to
you. She's not directly referring to me.
In Nigeria today, what you're telling us is that you have to devise different income ways of bringing in more.
Exactly. At least they will not be crying of hunger.
Okay.
Yes.
But before we go to the issue of crying, the crying of hunger is even belated. People have been crying of hunger everywhere. But my own question is this. The Minister of Agric was on a sister station yesterday night, and he said the kind of intervention that the federal government has injected into the agric sector, that by December this year there will be surplus of food.
Hallelujah.
But The question is, every December, of course, there will be surplus of food because people who farm from June to July to September to October will be harvesting
their crops.
So it's understandable. So whether there's an intervention or no intervention, there will be food by December. We all know that. It is what happens after December that matters. The question I want to ask you is this. People were waiting for the president yesterday to hear, I removed subsidy from petrol, but I'm putting subsidy in agriculture.
Better.
So that if Madam Anna wants to farm, she can get access to fertilizer. She can afford fertilizer bag of 10,000 or 15,000. One of the things that are making prices of food very, very expensive is because of fertilizer. How can you be buying a bag of fertilizer that is produced in your own country for 50,000 naira? So the president didn't think it right to say, I'm removing subsidy from petrol, but I'm injecting it into agriculture.
But I heard him, I think I also saw the program, I heard him saying they've opened a lot of farms in all the geopolitical zones, that there will be foods that everybody will be able to access. Is opening
of farms our problem? Or ensuring security?
The same Nigerians will tell you that the security
of fertilizer.
That the security, the same Nigerians will come out and tell you that securities are not the security challenges in the country is not allowing them to go to their farms.
Of course.
So if the security situation is not allowing you to farm, we also have a way of farming. You know, to some extent, Nigerians like exaggerating things. That is the truth. It's just like somebody asking you.
You want to plant behind your house in one bucket?
It can't be behind my house. I can go to my village today and access my 10 hectares, go there, farm, and come out. You see, sometimes this issue of headers, farmers, clashes, it's both ways to some extent, that we on our own, without any intervention from the government, without coming with bringing the security, we can actually sit, have a discussion with these headers. What is your problem? Why attacking our farms? And then dialogue with each other. But by the time I see you as an enemy, the other person see the slightest opportunity I get, I hit you bad because I consider you an enemy. So let's still go back to the drawing board and see how we can tackle this issue. Issue of, as long as you can access your farm and farm, even if you are buying a bag of fertilizer at 100,000, you can still turn it over and make your profits.
How many people can afford a bag of fertilizer?
Did you know how much the farmers are selling things?
No, I'm asking you, how many farmers can afford fertilizer? How many?
We have our local organic manure that we can get. Like what she's saying, you get, in fact, the more you can access 10,000 naira the waste of chickens. Yeah. And they are also very, very.
She's itching to comment.
You see,
can you? How many people can access fertilizer?
Come, I'm a poultry farmer. I'm a poultry farmer. A bag of chicken waste now is 20,000 naira in Jos. So if you want to take it out of Jos, you are going to spend more money to transport it. My brother bought how many bags from me last year? He bought almost about 10 bags or so. I just gave him last year for 100,000. He transported to Potiskum for almost another 100,000. So you see, he's doubling the money.
The truth is that we are also not patriotic, because no matter how bad we want to make the presidency look like, we Nigerians are also not helping the matter. How much are we buying things and how much are we selling it? We are not. We are the one inflicting pains on the masses.
No maize in the market.
But is it not the responsibility of government to ensure
price control? We've said that.
Yes.
That is where
the marketing boards need to come back.
They need to come back, because a lot of things are happening.
If you have price control, there's a peg you cannot go beyond. Or else you face the...
People take advantage. Look at this end protest. This protest now, this end hunger protest. People took advantage of it and inflate price of things within 2 days in the market.
People will always...
It's not as if they went to the market and things were different. But because they know there will be protest, people will not come out. So Gary that we are buying 2,000, they change it to 2,500. And what is happening? Tomorrow we may not open. Tomorrow we may not open. Did you buy it at 2004 or at 2003? So we are also taking advantage. Everybody wants, the same people protesting today, if given the opportunity, they will do worse than Tinubu is doing. claimed by them, if they think it's not doing the right thing, if given the same opportunity, we'll see a different thing from them. So let it start with us. Let's start talking to ourselves. Let the change begins with me. Let me not come on the stage just trying to make Mr. A look bad. When given the same opportunity, somebody told me that Nigeria, I cannot repair, I'm not the one that will repair Nigeria. I said, why are you protesting? If you are not the one that will repair, you are looking for opportunity to be posted to so place so that you will make money from that place. So, of what use?
Yes, the citizens, to a large extent, have their own responsibility, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'll come back to that. Let me go to Miss Anna. Miss Anna, you are a protester.
Yes.
She said that some of you on the street, if they give you an opportunity, you will do worse than the president. So it means that those of you that are protesting are also not an exemption of the bad governance that you claim you're protesting against.
It is not quite sure. It is not quite true, because all of us cannot be bad eggs. There are people that are bad, but most of us are good. She knows that I'm a good citizen of Nigeria. I am an accident and emergency.
That is why you can buy corn for 300 and sell it 400.
I can buy corn for even 350 and sell it for 400 naira, because I go extra miles. I deal with life, so you don't expect me that if there's an accident now, for me to go and treat somebody, then I will say bring 100 naira or bring 200 naira. No, I know that at the end of it, government is going to pay me for my own benefit. So I will do my work as unto God and not unto man. I don't do my work because somebody will see me to say well done or to come and rub my back. No, I do my work as unto God, because I know tomorrow I'm going to be accountable for it.
Why do you think that?
So that should be more, people should be taught.
Why do you think that Nigerians like inflicting pains on their fellow citizens? Everywhere you go, from the hospitals to the markets to the streets to the public transport, everywhere you go, everybody is thinking of how to make money out of you and I. Why do you think Nigerians are like that?
Well, I'm just trying to tell you that why I think Nigerians are like that is because some people naturally, they are very wicked people. Some people are naturally wicked. No matter what you do with them, wickedness runs in their blood, and it is part of them. And some people, maybe it is because of the hardship. Because when you read some people's faces, you know that there is hardship. Like you said, that an hungry man is a hungry man. You see their anger on their faces. They are not even approachable. There is nothing you can do about it. When they say they want to do something, even if you say leave it, it's not like that. They will still bent on doing that thing. They will insist, I must do it. Even if they think it's going to inflict pain on somebody, they will insist, I will do it. So at times you too, you have to just run for your own dear life and leave them to do whatever they want to do, because some of them you cannot contend with them as a woman.
I want to ask Aunt a question, because I have a situation that I was directly involved. What is the procedure when you take a patient to ask them an emergency?
We are not discussing that now.
No, because if you said, if you have said, it's the same people that are on the street protesting.
They are not.
The same people are on the street protesting, saying things are not. I took a patient to a hospital, a government hospital in this town in the night. I was not asked anything, not registered anything. It was a very simple procedure. When he finished, he just looked at me and said, bring 20,000. He didn't give me a receipt. When I was like telling him, but this thing, I just came, this is what I have. There was no receipt for that. It's a government hospital. There was no receipt. There was no nothing, because he said, did I ask you money when I was doing it? Something entered an ear of a child, and a 12-year-old child in the night. We tried to bring it out. No, it was an insect. He said he was sleeping. That was around 1. I took this child to the hospital. And when they just, I saw what he was doing. And then he brought it, he said, bring 20,000. Then he can, I said, is that, he said, no, we are not negotiating. That's what you pay. And this money, I have approved. I sent 20,000 because I sent 20, I have 20,000, 15,000. I backed him with it. That was what I had in cash. But then he said I must make up that 20,000, so I have to transfer into his own account the 20,000. The same people are the one on the street saying there is hardship, there is hunger. The same people. I'm not saying it may be that nurse, but the same people that are in offices working, they are the, so who are the Nigerians on the street? You think are only people that are, there are people that are not working?
Yeah, the jobless people.
No. Is it the jobless people that are on the street, so that we know how to tackle this issue?
But that not boils down to the same government doing its own responsibility.
Everybody is corrupt in his own little way.
If government has put measures, you know, to tackle corruption in hospitals, in the market, everywhere, if we have mechanism, mechanism to address each of the problems when it has to do with corruption, exploitation, and all of that? Don't you think it will teach people a lesson? It's because people see people in government, people in higher places, nobody talks to them, nobody takes them to prison, nobody holds them accountable. A man steals a cube of Maggi, or a woman steals salt, and she's languishing somewhere in prison for the past 5-7 years. A man steals billions of naira, and he's been told to negotiate. A plea bargain is being brought up, and he negotiates. He gets half of his money taken away from him, and he walks free. So doesn't that still boils down to government doing the needful when it comes to tackling corruption and every other crime in this country?
This JAPA system, everybody wants to run to where it's working. Go to those systems that you think are working. Nobody monitor them. It's within their own conviction that they believe. In those countries,
they have a system, a very efficient system put in place. You don't do, there are do's and don'ts.
Don't we have it in those places?
We have it.
We have it in our ministries. We have it everywhere, but people are not willing to.
It's because nobody is holding them accountable. Nobody is punishing them. That nurse that collected 20,000 naira from you has been doing that for a very long time, and he's not the only. And he's not taking the 20,000 alone. He's going to remit to other people if you go down the line to see what is happening. So because he's not being punished. If he's being punished, he will not try it.
The truth is that this change begins with me.
When we talk to ourselves. 2016.
Yes,
when we 2024.
When we talk to ourselves and then we said this country have to work for us. It has to work for everybody. Anywhere you find yourself, you want to work. You want to do things that you think is right. And it's something that is going to benefit you and benefit your generation to come. But then when we keep saying, no, everybody sit down and say, the government is corrupt, the government. Meanwhile, in your own little way, in the secondary school you are teaching, in the primary school you are teaching, you're also exploiting these children, collecting money from their parents. When they say school is free, the same people will tell these children to go and bring money for the registration of this, go and bring money for this chalk. But meanwhile, the government provides all these things. Okay. So how do we change this thing? Let it start from the grassroots. Let it start from the local level. Let the local government chairman all of them are not staying in their local government. No, most of them are in the state capital. They don't even know what is happening in the local government, and you are still giving them money. The money is being said to them. They claim they are there with the people. Meanwhile, they are not there.
Let me tell you. Let's just tell you in the news today. The local government autonomy was passed. The local government in Oyo State said they are not agreeing with that local government autonomy. In fact, they should pay their money through the state government.
Do you know why that is happening?
You know.
Do you know why that is happening?
These are people who are supposed to.
No, they are working on a script. Because if I have put you,
I'm saying. Is this the kind of Nigerians that you say?
The Nigerian we are praying for is if they really want this local government autonomy to work.
They don't want it to work.
If the government still want this thing to work, it's something that they should do the right thing. Doing the right thing is not to allow the state governors to conduct the election. Let INEC.
I think that's the next stage they will move to.
Yes, let INEC conduct this election. You won't hear what they are saying. These local government chairmen that went to sue, went to appeal that it should not work like that, are being picked by the governor. They are actually his toys. He works with them and everything. So if there will be a proper election, these guys are not coming back as local government chairmen, because the masses will vote those people that they believe in, that things can actually work and things will change for them.
Okay. Mrs. Anna,
yes.
How can a country work for me, you, our children, and everybody when people look at their leaders? They see a minister with convoys. They see a House of Rep with convoy. They see senators with convoy. Let's not go to the state governors and even the local government chairman who are very close, to them. When they see those kind of expenses, those kind of extravagances, those kind of wealth that is being pushed to their face, can they still think about a country that works?
Yes, the convoys are really spending much money, because you find out that one governor you have about 30, 40. If you see the president's convoy itself, it's many cars. But if you reduce all those convoys, I think it will go a better way in channeling the money to somewhere. So also the governors, not too much convoy, just few people. I have seen in some countries where the president doesn't even need a convoy. He doesn't even need a convoy. He doesn't go about with a convoy. He doesn't go about with anybody. He goes about alone because he's doing the right thing for his people. So nobody is even checkmating him. Nobody is following him. Nobody wants to come and tamper with his life or anything because he is doing the right thing for the people. So the convoy needs to be addressed. The convoy is so much from the president,
so the
governors,
of governance needs to be addressed.
To even local government. If I see a chairman in local government, you see people going about. What are the people going about him doing? Why are they following him about? Where are they going to? We said change begins with us. It should begin with the head so that we will know. When they reduce their distance, their convoy, we will be able to know that these people are really doing, they are really trying because of odd.
Ladies, as we round up, the president said there's a room for dialogue. And he's open to them. And the protesters are saying, you didn't even meet our demands. Going forward, what exactly should we be doing as Nigerians? Let's even forget about the protesters. As Nigerians and those who are leading the protests right now, what should we do going forward? Because the protest itself has also brought untold hardship, to people. Small businesses have closed up. The everyday man and woman who needs to do ABCD to feed can't do that anymore. In those states, Kano, Maiduguri, and most of the states that have been vandalized, their shops, their companies have been vandalized, will have to pick the pieces of their lives. And most of them will lay off staff because in the next 3, 4, 5 months, they won't be able to come back, except government decide to do some kind of intervention, to help bring them back on their feet. So going forward, what should happen?
Going forward, I think dialogue is the way. And as we said, that the issue of we coming on the street was still not yet ripe. I will still stand by it. That it should be something, I don't know how true it is, but I read in a quarter that the president have opened an office that you can access all these things. They are putting like a licensed officers in each state, which is a very welcoming one. If that is true,
it was a proposal that somebody is suggesting.
Okay, that proposal should be looked in.
Licensed officers,
That should be a good thing.
Do you think the president will be going state by state to engage people?
Not going, but if he has a licensed officer that reports to him directly on a day-to-day, he can access the presidency. Then people can actually write their suggestion. People can actually come up with plans, will come up with policy too, like a business when you have a business plans, as we said, that you cannot access this thing, you can actually access the presidency in your state. So there is no need of us coming here crying that you cannot access the president, you cannot do this.
Are you coming here to cry, or are you going to the street to cry?
No, some people go into the street now.
No,
those ones that is a slip of tongue. Okay. So people that took to the street said things are not working on well, they could have had an access to him by writing to the licensing officers in their set and said, because our cases are not the same. We have peculiar cases in every state. So he will be able to address them as it comes. So if that is also, if it was a suggestion too, I think the president should look into it. Okay. And the issue of convoy that we're still talking about, the cost in governor, is something that he should look into. But this convoy, most of them are not the convoy of the governor, the president, or the senator. Sometimes I can, if I'm together with you, if I'm privileged to be somebody close to you, I can join you in your journey if you're going to something with my car. They are not real. There are people going with, they are not real. It's just the Nigerian people. Sometimes our perception about these people, our big shots are always not correct.
No, they are very, very real. Okay. Let me, I am on a concluding note. Mrs. Anna, where is the way forward?
The way forward is for the government to involve everybody alone. Let there be dialogue. Let there be communication. Communication is the main thing. Had it been there was communication, believe me sincerely, protests wouldn't have come. Because there was no communication, people were not enlightened, that was why there was protest. Then let the security situation to be handled. People cannot go to the farm. Let me be sincere. In my own mother's village, believe me sincerely, if you hear PEM, everybody will start running away. We have been running from Garkida, the northern part of Nigeria. My village people have been running and leaving their farms. So if you cannot go to the farm, it means you come to the street. That's another thing. Yes, if you cannot go and farm in your village, you come to the street and protest. Then the issue of agriculture too should be looked into. The issue of schools should be looked into. The issue of healthcare also should be looked into.
So the president should speak with us, not to us. That's the engagement that you want to see.
Should speak to us.
No, not to us. He should speak with us. He
With
shouldn't
us.
speak to us. He should speak with us.
Yes.
That is the only way we can have an understanding.
Yeah.
And you know, the security situation needs to improve.
Yes.
Because the
It's
only way you
improving,
guarantee life,
Guarantee
guarantee of life and property, and even the food that we are all seeking to have, is if we have a you know, an adequate security, a safe environment for people to thrive. Ladies, it has been a very wonderful conversation as usual. Someday I'm going to also take you to the street, and then we will count the convoy and find out who is the escortee and who is a licensed person who is supposed to, and who is the legitimate person that is supposed to be on the convoy, and who is the attaché that will say, okay, because he's my minister friend, I also need to follow. I think that will be the conversation that we'll have to have.
That would be
so
great,
we will
because
go on the street to do all of that.
That would
Ladies,
be nice.
I'm afraid we just have to leave it here. Kate Richard, founder, Community Care and Hope Foundation, thank you very much for being part of the program.
Thank you guys for following us
All
up.
right. And Mrs. Anna Olubumi Osisanwo, accident and emergency nurse with Just Teaching Hospital. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank
I
you
know
very
this
much.
is a very
You're
difficult
welcome.
time, but you
Yes.
did tell me from the beginning that you are a protester and you will be around throughout this protest. Thank you for having me.
They still have 5 days to go.
Still have 5 days to go. We'll be bringing her every day to ask her if our protesters have been stoned, the one that follow her.
Let them not stun our security agency on the route.
All right. And that's the much we can take on the program. Do join us again tomorrow for another edition. My name is Medina Zaki. From all of us here, it's bye for now.